Okay, we'll start. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahanu Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य माणिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासिरनिनादितेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु भक्तारमवतु भक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ Okay. So we are in chapter 6. Now what is chapter 6? It is Atma Deepa, Chitra Deepa, Chitra Deepa. So how a picture is illuminated. And taking this as an example, so what is being discussed here? The Jiva and also Kutastha. Who is the witness of everything? Jiva, embodied self. And we have come up to, say, let us start from 40. So what we have discussed already, because a little background is required so that we are on the same place. So one is called Idam, and also Atman. So here the example is given like Devadatta swayam gachet tvam bhikshasva swayam aham swayam na shaknomi iti evam loke prayujyati. So one word is swayam and also idam. Idam means this. So whatever is this, that means it is object. Whatever swayam is subject. But you see, we'll see this same thing various ways so that we can understand through logic. Here we have a great instrument, our logic. So we have to apply our logic. Here it is not emotion that we do in Bhakti Yoga. It is not the concentration, but it is it is logic. By logic, we have to see who is the seer. And logic has its weakness also, its fallacy. But still, it's a great instrument so that we can see what is apparently not visible. The premise of the whole science is on logic. Nobody has seen atom. It's on logic. Even suppose someone has seen atom, but subatomic particle, and not only that, quantum particles. So all these are logically established. And that is why if tomorrow they find something, a greater logic or something more, the previous one is discarded. Is it the same with this? No, it is not same with this, because we have another great instrument, and that's called self-realization. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti. So will depend on three things. One is Shruti, what our scriptures say, and Yukti, By this exercise, will make our instrument very sharp. So we understand pros and cons. Uhapoha lakshana. So what is pros and cons? And then something we have to understand which will be indicated, which cannot be said, but it is only implied. But we'll understand it because our experience is based on it. All our experiences are in and through this self. I'm talking to you because I am the self. All the talking is happening. I'm using my logic, using my words, trying to find out exact words and emotion. And therefore, what you are doing, you are also based on yourself. You are deciphering those things, my words, and also emotions, and the way of delivery. So it requires a subtle sense, but subtle sense is also sense, that those senses are also established in the self, in and through self that we experience. So here we'll see various aspects of the same Atman and Idam. So various aspects. Let us go forward. So 40 I have already said. Now let us idam rupam idam vastram iti tadvad tadvat idam tadha idam tatha asau tvam aham ityeshu swam ityavi manyate. I'll trick up the translations because otherwise I don't want to scare you. Okay. So this is rupyam. This is the demonstrative pronoun. This is common to such diverse perceptions as this is silver, this is cloth, this is that. So like that. Similarly, the word self is also applied to all three persons, first, second, and third person. I, you, and he. I myself, you yourself, he himself. So these words are used. Okay, now let us go forward. Now comes the doubt. Ahatvadi vidyatam swatvam kutaste tena kim tava. Now, how can we relate this aham, myself, swayam, with kutastha? The concept I means when I'm saying I, that means I am egoistic, egoity. So the concept I, egoity, may be different from the concept of the self, Atman. But what has this to do with Kutastha? So now reply comes. The word self denotes Kutastha and vice versa. So when I say self, so what I do, actually this ego also is established in the self. So when I say this self, that means what? Though I mean I am that same self, but somehow it gets mixed up with my body-mind complex. And we think that this limited person is self. But actually we stand on the Kutastha. Kutastha means, say, anvil, that means which never changes. That Gita says, nitya sarvagata sthanu achalu vayam sanatana. So nitya, eternal, sthanu, it is unmoving. We don't move. We may think that I am moving, but we don't move. You have come like driving, so. But actually, in our dream also we move a lot. Then in the morning we discover where we were. We are in the same place. So nitya, sarvagata, sthanu, achalo. Achal means unmoving. Sthanu, like stone. Stone like in one place, similarity. We may think, and in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan said also, Ishvaraha sarvabhutanam riddeshe arjuna tishtati. Brahmayan sar Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudani mayaya. I reside in everyone's hridaya, means center of being. And as if I am making them roam round and round in a machine. So nowadays we know what machine it is, what he meant. Like simulator. So simulator, you can drive a car, or you can drive a plane, or even you can go to moon. Simulator that, and then you are turning left or turning right. So you'll have that sensation. Simulator. So yantra arudani mayaya. Through Maya, I, as if, take them on a ride. Yantra arudani mayaya. And then we feel that I'm born, then I'm elderly, and then I'm dying, and now I'm going to market, and I'm going to this and that. All these are various sensations. But Kutastha means never moving. Achalaha, Nityaha, Sarvagata. In all, it is all pervading, eternal. So this is our real nature. So, so what we are doing, we are mixing up. Though I'm thinking. If I say thinking, that's also not correct. Even without thinking, we are there. It's like in our deep sleep, we don't think, but we are still there. But when I'm awake, though I mean the same kutastha, but somehow we mix up with this body-mind complex. So that is what the problem is. So the reply is, the word self denotes kutastha and vice versa. So what is that vice versa? Ahatva. The concept I, egoity, may be different from the concept of self, kutas atman, but what has this to do with kutastha? So reply is, the self and I, actually because of the kutastha. That is why it means that. Okay, so we go to the next. Now again doubt comes. Self merely excludes the idea of another and does not say anything about kutastha. Like self, I myself. So how can it be kutastha? Reply, this exclusion of others is the self of kutastha. So say like when I say myself or self, that means it excludes others. So self merely excludes the idea of another and does not say anything about kutastha. So this exclusion of others is the self of kutastha. So this, when it is negating others, that means this when is self, That means I mean the Kutastha, self of Kutastha. So exclusion is in favor of our idea. So first let us have the, when I say self, that means not others. So that means what is others? Even mind, etc. others. All senses, others. So that means when I am saying self, what I'm doing, I'm excluding other things and I'm trying to figure out what myself. So it is in our favor. Okay, we go forward. Galloping. Okay. Okay, then स्वयं आत्मेति पर्यायो तेन लोके तयोः सह प्रयोगो नास्त्यतः स्वात्मात्मत्वं च अन्यवारकम. Now, people, the people ordinarily use self and Atman as synonymous terms. And so both terms are never used together. In fact, each of these terms excludes the idea of another. So fine. So this is in our favor. So no problem. So whatever comes in our favor is welcome. So Swayam, what are the words? Self and Kutastha, Atman. Self and Atman. I myself, even when I say myself, I am excluding others. Atman. This Atman, Kutastha. So this is excluding others. So now let us go forward. Ghatah swayam na janati iti evam swatvam ghatadishu achetanishu drishtam chet. Now question is, we often use such expressions as the pot itself does not know. Okay, we use this, fine. This is the objection. Here the word self is applied to an inanimate object. Good enough. Such language is used because Atman is the basis of the inanimate objects also. Whatever is there, everything is based on the self. So the basis, if we see basis, fine, it's okay. Everything is based on the self. Now let me repeat, otherwise, what is the point and what is the Siddhanti? What is doubt and what is Siddhanti? We often use such expressions as the pot itself does not know. Here the word self is applied to an inanimate object. So you are saying, when I say self or Atman, it is Kutastha. Now if same thing is, we also use sometimes, the mic does not know itself, like this. So that means what? This is inanimate object. And here there is no Kutastha. Okay, there is no problem. Why? Because this also is dependent on the self. That's what the reply is. Such language is used because Atman is the basis of the inanimate objects also. Whatever we see in the whole world, whole universe, is based on the self. So in that sense, we can use. Now, let us go forward. Chetana achetana bhida kutasthatma krita nahi kimtu buddhi krita bhasa kritir vaityavagamyatam. So what is saying? It is not the immutable Kutastha or Atman which makes the difference between the animate and inanimate. It is the jiva, the reflection of Kutastha in the intellect, which makes the difference. Now, what is being said? If I say this is inanimate, I am animating. So this is my understanding. My understanding, when I'm saying my understanding, that means this is egoity. So ego is differentiating. This is inanimate, this is animate. Kutastha is there. So this way, what is being said? We are cultivating knowledge. Means here we are sharpening our understanding to separate and segregate what real Kutastha is. So let me repeat it again. It is not the immutable Kutastha or Atman which makes the difference between the animate and inanimate. It is the Jiva, the reflection of Kutastha, is the intellect which makes the difference. So intellect is differentiating, but Kutastha is like that. Ajara, Amara, Sumarubat. Ajara means there is no old age. Amara, immortal, and Sumeru, like Sumeru, no change in it. Okay. And the forum is open. Anytime any question can be asked. Okay. Yatha chetana abhasah kutasthe bhranti kalpita. Chetana chetana abhasa kutasthe bhranti kalpita. Achetana ghatadishcha tatha tatraiva kalpita. Now, oh, just a minute. So Chetana Chetana. We need even the computer is also though achetana, but it requires the attention. Chaitanya is required for even computers. Okay. Just as the conscious jiva is created by illusion based on kutastha, even so, on it, the inanimate objects are created by avidya. So everything is created. So we need electricity to run the computer, otherwise it will stop. So battery was down. Anyway. So let me repeat so that so it is clear. Just as the conscious jiva, so I am conscious jiva, you are conscious jiva, is created by illusion, because illusion means what? Atasmin tad buddhi. Actually, we are kutastha, but somehow we are pretending that no, I am Swami Chandrasekharananda, and I have this quality and that quality, or this bad habit, or this bad or that bad habit, or etc. So all the impressions that I am carrying, somehow I'm thinking those impressions are myself, samskara. So just as the conscious jiva is created by illusion based on kutastha. So kutastha is underlying. Even so, on it, the inanimate objects are created by avidya. So both are cause of avidya. Both are, avidya is the cause of for both. That is the point. No illusion is possible without something real on which it rests. If there is no rope, we cannot see a snake there. There must be some substratum. The substratum is kutastha. Now indicating one has to extend one's imagination, power of understanding the implied meaning. What is that which is the basis, which is the the substratum that yena chakshunsi pashyati. What is that by which everything is seen, but eyes cannot see it? What is that? We worship yedam yedidam upasate. Nedam yedidam upasate. So yena chakshunsi na pashyanti chakshuhu. Like I'm forgetting the line. Which eyes cannot see, but eyes are seen because of this. What is that? What is that substratum? So because that cannot be explained. Why? Because it is not object. It is yourself, your subject, you yourself, the subject. So one has to understand what is this that eyes cannot see, but eyes are seen because of this. I am aware, so I can understand that I have eyes. So this is the basis. Basis means this is the substratum on which everything is superimposed. Everything is conceived. Everything is perceived. That is the kutastha. Just as the conscious jiva is created by illusion based on kutastha and because of avidya, even so, on it, the inanimate objects are created by avidya. So, avidya is creating animate objects and also inanimate objects. So, we are saying like I can see a human being. So, that is also because of avidya, and inanimate objects also avidya. So, the question comes here, that example was given, and that Swayam and Ghata. Ghata Swayam na janati iti evam. So the question was, even we use Ghata Swayam na janati, does it mean that it is Kutastha? No. That Ghata itself is also, Ghata also is conceived on Kutastha. So we can use that word. It is not that something is unconscious or inanimate or something is animate based on that. No, everything is based on Kutastha. Okay, we go forward. Tatte dante api swattvamiva tam ahamadishu sarvatra anugate tena tayor apyatmateti chet. Now, again, doubt. And he will raise our doubt and the answer. Then we'll answer. Doubt. Like the word self, the words this and that can be applied to all persons. So self, say I and he, etc. It is therefore reasonable to conclude that the objects denoted by this and that are also the Atman. Like, that is a person, or this is a person. So this is self, or that is self. This is and that is, like that. This we can use. So now the reply comes. Te atmatyapyanugate tattedante tatah tayoho atmatvam naiva sambhavyam samyaktva der yatha tatha. This and that do not refer only to I, you and he as distinct entities, but also to Atman, which is the common element in them all. They are like correctness, incorrectness, etc., not synonymous with Atman, because they are of wider denotation. So these are words. So this and that. So this and that, it can be applied widely. So this is not excluding others. When it is excluded, kutastha is totally separate. On that kutastha, all whatever is being conceived, so those are different. So object and subject. So this and that do not refer only to I, you, or he as distinct entities. Like if I say this or that, so anywhere we can apply that. They are like correctness or incorrectness, etc. Not synonymous with Atman because they are of wider denotation. So tatta idanta, there are two words here. Tat, that is thatness, and thisness. So this also implies the self also. But this is not the self. That is the point. Te atmate api anugate tatte dante tatastayoh atmatvam neva sambhavyam. It is not the self. Rather, it belongs to that some being related to that being. Okay. Tattadante swatah satanyatve tvantat hante parasparam pratidvanditaya loke prasiddhe nasti samshaya. Besides, the idea of this and that, the self and the other, you and I, are opposite pairs. So what are those? Like this and that, I and you, these are opposite pairs. It is well known in society, there is no doubt about that. So this is there. So when it is popularly known, but this is not the self. It is not exclusively something, but it is widely used. This discussion regarding this and that not being the self is by the way. Now, the author goes back to Vikshepa, the main topic of discussion. Now, this was a branch. Anyataya, the opposite of the other, is the self, which is the same as the kutastha. The opposite of you, however, is I, which is the egoism, the jiva, which is superimposed on kutastha. So this is the central idea that, this is understandable by oneself, you yourself. So this, the basis of yourself is that kutastha, and all other things that is being perceived are not kutastha. So other things are like opposing each other, juxtaposing, like aham and tvam, me and I and the other person, I and you, then this and that. These are juxtaposing, but these are not denoting the self, kutastha. There are two concepts of the self. One of the immutable self, Atman, the kutastha, and the other of the acting self, the egoity, the jiva. So jiva is carrying the load of past impressions. Whatever he has gathered through the ages, that he carry. That is why at the time of realization, he peers through it, and that time he gets the para vairagya, supreme vairagya. He says that enough is enough. Alam pratyavan. That means enough is enough. I don't want to carry on this. So totally he rejects it. So we go forward because otherwise, so we have to complete also, and this is I think self-explanatory, so not much to explain. Now, ihanta swatva इहन्त्वास्त्वय तयोर्भेदे रूप्यदन्तयोरिव स्पष्ट्यपि मोहमापन्ना एकत्वं प्रतिपेदिरे. As the distinction between silver and this is clear, so also the difference between I and self, but the people in the grip of delusion identify I with the immutable self. So now, when we say idam rajataha, this is silver. So shining, silver shines. That if we remember that the concept of projecting power, one is covering power, one is projecting power. So projecting power takes our attention from the reality to something which is illusory or which is not there, which seems to be like that. Atasmin tad buddhi. What it is not, we think it is so. So though we understand Rajat in Shuktika, Shuktika means in pearl oyster, if we see, oh, it is a silver. So what is happening? It appears something else which it is not. So as the distinction between silver and this is clear, so distinction, silver is separate and this is separate. So also the difference between I and self. So I am talking, I am speaking, I am going, I am coming. But behind this, something who is not involved at all, totally distinct, that also we can realize. But the people in the grip of delusion identify I with the immutable self. So this is very difficult. It's Chit Jada Granthi. It is so difficult. We understand, again we forget. We understand, again we forget. So this, when we say I, that means though we indicate that kutastha, but somehow we are deviated from it, because then said, why you have pinched me? Or why I'm insulted? I have been insulted by someone. But kutastha cannot be insulted. It is only witness. Nothing is happening there. So whenever we have doubt, if you analyze yourself, you'll find that it is because of this confusion. I get lots of questions like this. So it is because of this confusion that sometimes we feel that I am this body-mind complex. It's so subtle that it's very difficult to segregate. But the study of this will help us to understand what is kutastha and what is this egoity. Okay, we go forward. तादात्म्य अध्यास एव अत्र पूर्वोक्ता विद्या कृतः अविद्यायां निवृत्तायां तत्कार्यं विनिवर्तते. That the superimposition causing the identity of I and the self is caused by nescience, avidya. What is avidya or ajnana? Ajnana is not absence of knowledge, but knowing something not perfectly. Why? Knowledge itself is coming through our filters. Our intellect is in avidya. How can we have knowledge through that intellect which is product of avidya? It is impossible. That is why when one experiences, it's called aparoksha anubhuti. It is not knowledge. Aparoksha anubhuti. That means there is no via media. No, there is no intermediary. There is no medium in between. Say, if I say you don't exist, how you vehemently oppose? Because it is your experience. It is not that somebody certified you. It is not that, huh?
Somebody certified me.
Yeah.
Yeah, made in America.
Yeah. See, there also. Yeah. No, they dispute. See, this is my photo, or this is my passport. Passport is okay, but this is not you. But what happens? We identify with this body-mind complex so much that it's very difficult to separate. But there is no other way. If one wants to go with knowledge, then one has to be very sharp to understand where this is mingling. The two things are getting mixed up. So that the superimposition causing the identity of my, I and self is caused by nescience has already been treated. When this nescience is negated, its effect is also terminated. So if we can say, okay, that's why mano buddhyahankar chittani naham. I am not the mind. I am not the intellect. I am not the ego. Mano buddhyahankar chittani naham. I am not the mind stuff. What am I? Shivoham, Shivoham. So if you can negate everything, then you can experience this, or one can experience this. Buddhists would say that it is shunya, a void, but it is not void. We are experiencing. On that experience, even who is saying that it is void? Who is doubting? Doubter cannot doubt himself, because then doubt is not possible. So that the superimposition causing the identity of I and the self is caused by nescience has already been treated. When this nescience is negated, its effect is also terminated. If I can negate avidya, that means if I bring light, then I can see, oh, there was no snake at all. It is not there, it was not there, it will not be there in trikala. So to negate this, that means we need to light the lamp, chitradeepa. Chitradeepa. Like the picture is illuminated by light. Similarly, with lighting or negating, so negating, better not to negate, rather to light the lamp. So to understand the kutastha correctly, if I understand kutastha correctly, avidya will be negated, and then there is no confusion. So avidya vritti tadatme vidyayeva vinashyatah. Now he is explaining again. the veiling of the real nature of the self and the identity superimposition are caused by nescience, and they are destroyed when nescience is negated. But so long as the fructifying karma continues, the mind and the body, the effects of illusory projection of nescience continue. Now, problem is, we understand this so quickly. But what happened? Next moment, it again comes. Why it comes? It is because of our past actions and fruits thereof. All samskaras, the mental modifications or the accumulated impressions that we have, that we are carrying with us, the accumulated impressions that we are carrying with us is the cause of confusion. How can then we remove that accumulated impressions? So there comes karma yoga, bhakti yoga, raj yoga. That means one thing one should be clear. Okay, now I understand. I have accumulated karma phala or the fruits of action and impressions. So it is like this. We have a tank. In that tank, we have also a tank. So there the dirt is accumulated. And after a certain time, then you need to clean. What we do? First we stir it and then supply fresh water. So when we stir it with the fresh water, all the dirts go away. So fresh water is important. So we should do something which is for cleansing of ourselves. What is that cleansing of ourselves? What is that agent? Agent is karma yoga. Like whatever we are doing, we have to do for God. We have to do for others. If someone does not believe in God, no problem. One should not work for oneself, rather for others. And his moral life should be pure. That's why ahimsa, satya, akrodha, all these qualities are there. Satya, ahimsa, brahmacharya, aparigraha, asteya. What are those? Satya, truthfulness. Ahimsa, non-hating others or non-harming others, even not hating. And then brahmacharya, that means celibacy, not to see any from lustful eyes. And then comes asteya, not stealing anything, even in mentally also. And then aparigraha, not to accept any gifts. How to sustain the swamis? How can they sustain? No, we say, okay, offer that to God. We get prasad. So this is not the same thing. Mind it. It is not the same thing. Prasad is pure and he's not getting anything from any person. So we hammer these ideas. Many times they forget. Many times forget. Then they hammer. Go and offer that to God. So, and then comes Shaucha, Santosha, Tapaha, Swadhyaya, Ishwar Pranidhan. Shaucha, Shuchita, cleanliness. All the time I have to say, wash your hands. All the time I have to say, wash your hands. So it is, it is not only washing hands, it's like cleansing. Heart should be also clean. And one should do things with awareness. One should be mindful. Mindfulness, it is very important. And then shaucha, santosha, say satisfaction and contentment. Contentment. That means whatever we receive is more than enough. People are not happy with whatever they have received. They want more and more, more and more. They want to hoard more and more. That is not good. If all these are not taken care of, one cannot understand this. That is why moral life is very important to understand. And to get rid of previous impressions. And not only that, tapaha, striving. Tapaha, striving. Striving with attention. Swadhyaya, updating oneself. Even doing japa is also like a tapaha and also swadhyaya. To learn about, like this is also swadhyaya, very important. Because this gives the boost for our understanding or to have that, to acquire that. So this is swadhyaya also important. Tapa, swadhyaya, Ishwar pranidhan. Swadhyaya, self-study. And swadhyaya, self-study, or this is the, I'm giving this example. Like this is also swadhyaya. Updating one's knowledge. Repeating over and over again, like japam. This also is swadhyaya, a kind of swadhyaya. Though it looks like not exact meaning, yes, but implied meaning. Because what you are doing, you are trying to reveal yourself by doing japa, contemplating the ideal within. So japa is also important, very important. This also reveals. And in course of time, all of a sudden we'll understand, oh my soul, yeah. Now I understand. So cultivating ideas, the swadhyaya. So this is avidya vritti tadatme vidyayeva vinashati. If we do not know something, how we know? By knowing, we know. I don't know chemistry or say physics. How I know? By knowing, I know. So this is the way. So when we study something, then we cultivate that knowledge and we come to know, oh, this is called avidya. I understand. I am getting mixed up with my body-mind complex, with my ego. Oh, I see. So this knowing through scriptures and relating to ourselves, our experience, and also it should be logical, and it is logical. So avidya vritti tadatme vidyayeva vinashata. Vikshepasya swarupam tu prarabdha kshayam ikshati. So what happens by doing this gradually, prarabdha, till prarabdha is there, then after that, a new karma will not come. When I'm supplying fresh water, that means my tapasya, tapa, swadhyaya, ishwar pranidhan, etc., then what is happening? The old dirts are going out. So one should stir also. That means, say this swadhyaya also helps us to stir ourselves. Because here we try to understand what is self, what is kutastha, what is myself, what is this me, mine, and what is this and thine. So this way it is stirred. The intellect is stirred. And through good karma, then gradually all the impressions, wrong impressions goes away. Right impressions is gained. So the veiling of the real nature of the self and the identity superimposition are caused by nescience, and they are destroyed when nescience is negated. But so long as the fructifying karma continues, the mind and body, the effects of illusory projection of nescience continue. So till we cleanse our heart with fresh good karma, that also without any desire, without any expectation, then only the past karma goes away. Now, one thing is here written, by negation of nescience. It's like fighting darkness. So how can you fight darkness? How can you negate nescience? It is not in that sense. Then what sense? We are to lit light. As Sri Ramakrishna said, if you walk towards east, west is left behind automatically. So we need to cultivate knowledge, then ignorance will be driven out. Okay, so I think we should stop here. Akshay, any question?
Yes,
Yes, go ahead.
like self is beyond mind. Then why do we need to purify to understand?
Okay, because as of now, say I said, Akshay, do you have any question? He said, yes. So what happens? We identify with this body-mind complex. So this is a great mixture. But if we purify ourselves, then it will be all the time say it will be alert all the time. You'll feel that I am the self. It is not that when we study that time only. But when we are in normal condition, that time also will know that I am the self. I have nothing to do with my body-mind complex. So that is why we need to cleanse. First, we need to understand the distinction between these two. One is the Kutastha, the self, immutable self, and all other things. If we know first we should know, then still it will come back. Why it will come back? Because of our past actions, prarabdha. So to negate that, we need to cleanse our heart. As I gave example, like we have a tank. In tank, some dirt is accumulated. What we do? We stir it and start fresh water. So fresh water takes up all the dirts out. Then a time comes when everything is fresh water. And then we realize ourselves like we realize ourselves. So as of now, because of avidya means not knowing correctly. We have some knowledge. And as soon as we relate with it, even in physics also you'll find something. When some teacher will come and teach you, and you'll understand, oh, I know this. So this knowledge is already within us. But ignorance also deludes us. Why? Anadi Ravidya. When it started, nobody knows. Because the time is also conceived in avidya. As you go to deep sleep or sleep even, the time starts. You cannot count within your dream. But when you come out, then you understand, oh, there was nothing. So, Anadi Ravidya means when it started, nobody knows. Because we are in avidya now. But within that, within within ourselves, that is kutastha, which is not affected by it anyway. So when we know this, by cultivating over and over again, at the same time, we try to do good karma without attachment, without any expectation, offering that to God. So three things: offering to God without expectation, without any attachment. It's a tall order, but we have to do, because then only it will flourish. It will illumine within. And that is our real self. Until or unless you do this, you cannot uh, avoid it. You cannot avoid it. It's called hounding of heaven. It will hound you down. You know hounding?
No.
Hounding means like dog, they hound. So it is already within. So that's a not bad impression or bad expression. The call is from within. You cannot stop it. It wants this, the kutastha or the ourself wants expression, manifestation, and it is calling from within us. You try to stop it, you cannot. So this call will go on. A poet said this, hounding of heaven. He tried to get so many things, worldly things, but that did not stop him. Hound of heaven, hound of heaven. Sri Ramakrishna was called one time. Okay. Sri Ramakrishna, now, that's good, very good. Sri Ramakrishna is calling us. When everybody was, say, busy in Arati and doing some Arati, etc., and beating drums and cymbals, etc., Sri Ramakrishna would go to the roof of Kuthibadi, where he used to stay. And he said, "Oh, my children, where are you? I cannot remain without you. Please come, please come. My throat is parched with talking to worldly people. So please come. I cannot stay away from you." So this call is within us. He's calling us all the time. We need to answer that. And you cannot stop. Till it is fulfilled, you cannot stop. Why? Can you tell me why?
Because he will not leave us.
No. You see, suppose you are acting in a drama and you have made a different kind of guise. Can you remain like that? No. You come home and remove all the dress and be your own being, Akshay. So you have to be Akshay. So that is our real nature. We cannot be in disguise. It may be 1,000 of births possible, but after that you have to come back. Okay? You have to be really Akshay.
Yeah.
So that's our reality. So reality is calling us. We can tell that Thakur is calling. Yes, Thakur. That is our reality. Okay. That is why we like. Why we like? Because he's our real self. Sri Ramakrishna, here, our real self. He's calling us. And we cannot stop. You cannot stop. Even if you try, you cannot. It is impossible. That's our real nature. Okay.
Thank you.
Huh. Okay, we say our prayer. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tassat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. David, you are not saying anything?
Yes, Swami.
You are not.
Yes, I'm not saying anything.
You are not saying anything?
Once
Okay,
again, my questions have all been answered.
good. Okay. Jai Ma.
Pranam Maharaj.
Namaste, namaste. Hari Om.
Jai Maharaj.
Namaste, Maharaj.
Namaste.